All right, I would like to welcome everybody to our fifth episode of Fireside Chats. My name is Scott Mulwee. I'm the Burke County Chairman of the County Commissioners, and also I happen to be the Tourism Development Authority Chairman as well, and I've got today my good friend, the President and CEO of the TDA, which stands for Tourism Development Authority, with us today. So, Ed, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks, Scott. I'm glad to be here. We've had a good run here at tourism recently in Burke County. But about myself, I'm a native of North Carolina. I was born in Greensboro. As a youngster, I traveled with my dad as he was transferred across the country. We lived in Iowa for a couple of years, and actually I graduated high school in California, and then Northern California, and then came back here. My Mom and Dad moved back to North Carolina, and I came back and went to college at Western Carolina University, where I studied communications and marketing and radio, TV, and film production. And my senior paper was North Carolina Tourism, What a Natural. So
Wow.
There you go.
Okay. And well, it was a natural fit.
Yeah.
Now, you've been with Tourism Development Authority for how long here?
So I started in August of 2010 as a contract employee, and then I was hired full-time in October of 2010. So I've been there, going on 13 years.
Okay.
Yep.
And obviously, we've got a great board, and but great boards often get spoiled because Ed, actually, I hadn't actually told you formally congratulations, because I think it was the week before last you got an honor in some part of the state.
Yeah, so we entered for a marketing award with the North Carolina Travel Industry Association, and we actually won a gold award this year for our Ridgeline Trolley Fall Color Tours. And the Fall Color Tours is something it's so unique. I mean, no one else does that. We advertise it, we sell it out every year. This year we had over 300 people on the trolley for their tours, did a lot of private tours, but yeah, we were honored to receive an award from the state private sector, the North Carolina Travel Industry Association.
And what many of you, if you don't know Ed, he's pretty modest. He gets asked to go throughout the state. It's just not a region-wide, but a statewide, to come to conferences to speak, because he's done such an amazing job in the tourism industry and is well respected throughout the state. And it's benefited our local economy amazingly so, especially in the last 5 years, because I remember when I joined the TDA board, I knew what the budget was then, I know what the budget is now.
Yeah.
And so, and speaking of budget, so folks at home understand, how are we funded at the TDA?
Yeah, so when you stay in a hotel in Burke County, and we have about 600 hotel rooms here of all shapes and sizes, and about 175 vacation rentals, whether you book through Airbnb or a private real estate or an individual that has a vacation rental, then all of those places collect occupancy tax, which is 6% in Burke County. That 6% is collected by the county tax office. It comes to the county, then it's redistributed to us as a Tourism Development Authority, which the board manages those funds. A portion of that money is then divided up. Some of it goes to the town of Valdez, some of it goes to the city of Morganton, and then the TDA. And that's what we use for all of our expenses: marketing, promotion, salary, benefits, all that thing. We also have revenue that comes in from the trolley. So the Ridgeline Trolley generates about $25,000 a year in revenue, maybe a little more this coming year, because it's really grown, and the trolley's become more popular. Just every month, it seems like we run more and more trips on it. And it's become very reliable.
Yeah, we hadn't had mechanical issues with this one.
No.
We didn't really have that many with the older one we had, but this one, the maintenance, knock on wood, like anybody's vehicles at home, you just kind of cross your fingers sometimes, but it's been pretty self-sufficient. And speaking of self-sufficient, the reason I wanted you to bring up occupancy tax, most folks have no idea how the Tourism Development Authority is funded. So, as you know, it doesn't cost the local taxpayers any money. It's self-sufficient, but it also brings a tremendous amount of revenue to our county. Explain the amount of revenue that is brought in by the tourism here locally, what that looks like, and how far-reaching it is for ancillary jobs that many of us don't even think about.
Sure. So The revenue and the tourist spending in Burke County is measured by the state every year, and they have a formula for doing that, and they hire an outside firm to do it. They've done it the same way for years. They measure every county, they measure the whole state, and they look at what visitors potentially spend here in Burke County. In 2021, it was $121 million that the visitors spent. A lot of people come back and say, well, how many visitors were that? Well, we don't count the actual number of visitors per se that come in. We hope to be able to do that in the very near future with some data that we're getting. But it's about 800 full-time job equivalencies in Burke County. So those are people that might work in hotels, that might work in some restaurants that are along the interstate or that service the hospitality, people that clean rooms, people that clean vacation homes. Some of the automotive jobs, repair, gasoline, convenience stores are all classified, not all of them, but some are classified as hospitality and tourism jobs. And then you have attractions, so that bring in places like Apple Hill Orchard, Daniel Boone Campground, Steel Creek Park Campground. Those are all 100% tourism jobs. So the equivalent, as estimated by the state, is about 800 jobs.
Wow, so 800 jobs, you're talking over 100, what'd you say, 130 million?
$121 million.
121 million, okay.
Yeah.
And so that's literally millions of dollars that go to help out the taxpayers of Burke County.
Sure, so then you look at what that 121 equates to in local sales tax.
Sure.
So they're paying sales tax on all of that as well that comes back to Burke County. And they estimate that it saves each Burke County property owner about $500 a year.
Wow.
In property taxes that otherwise they'd have to pay. So yeah, it's a good source of revenue for the county. Visitors don't require school systems to educate their kids because they're someplace else. It does require a little bit of water and sewer somewhere, but yeah, it's recognized as a clean industry that you don't have to build up a lot for it. Our attraction is the outdoors. You know, it's the Linville Gorge, the Pisgah National Forest, Lake James State Park, South Mountain State Park. So our mountains are here. God put them here a long time ago. Yes. And now people can come and visit that. And that's really what we market is our outdoors.
Well, we are nature's playground.
Yeah.
And so, and obviously we market that heavily. You know, at the county, one of our favorite projects that we worked on for years is the Fontaflora Trail. Yeah. And that's been a boon to the economy, as you well know, because you have visitors coming into the center. And, you know, when they come in, you know, where is you know, I've talked about this, where are the pockets of people coming from mostly? Well, we get them from all over the United States, but kind of give us an idea of the far-reaching visitors and also the ones that, you know, because I think Charlotte is a hotbed of tourism for us.
The greater Charlotte region, upstate South Carolina, near Charlotte, all the way through Lake Norman, and that's our #1 market. That's where more people come there to Burke County than any other place. What surprisingly is after that, it's kind of spread out all over, but Buncombe County and Asheville, a lot of people come down here from that. Then we have the Triad, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, Raleigh, Durham, Pinehurst, the Sandhills. And then it just scattered. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee is measuring higher and higher on folks traveling I-40 coming into western North Carolina. And then we also have something going on called, there's a climate refugee. And a climate refugee are people that are leaving the Southwest either because of heat, climate change, lack of water, lack of resources, housing costs, and they're moving out. And we see a lot of folks now coming to look for real estate here, property here from the Southwest, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, California, and that's growing every year as well. So that's our domestic travelers that we have here. Prior to the COVID, prior to 2020, we also had a lot of folks from Europe and even some from Asia that came through to visit Burke County as they were traveling maybe a southeast itinerary. They'd fly into Atlanta, they'd come up to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, maybe the Blue Ridge Parkway, maybe even Grandfather Mountain. And they would come through Burke County and either visit here, stay here, spend money here. So we've had groups that are tied to local corporations here that have manufacturing plants here, but they're based overseas somewhere. and families of those employees may come and visit here for a while. So we have people come literally from all over the world.
And it's neat to see some of the newer, we're talking about the natural beauty, but some of the things that have really become destinations, and you can speak to this, is you've got an ale trail,
Right.
and speak to the ale trail and you mentioned the winery earlier in one of our private talks, and how those affect tourism as well.
So venues here where people can come and get married, or there's venues here that are special event venues, and we have several that are really destinations, and that means people will come here to utilize those, and they don't even live here. Neither, if it's a wedding going on someplace here in Burke County, neither the bride nor groom are from here. They just selected this because of a beautiful view, or hotel availability and great rates and great caterers here to provide services for their event or wedding, special meeting, whatnot. And so, we've got people that come here all over for that. That's a big part of our business as well, provides hotel rooms on the weekends. Throughout the week, our hotel rooms are really corporate travel, medical. We have medical tourism here, believe it or not. We have a physician here in Morganton that specializes in surgery on eyelids. And there are folks that come here from other parts of the country to have him work on their eyelids, and then they may stay here for 2 or 3 or 4 days to get checked out before they go home. So you think about people going to
maybe hide out a little bit.
Hide out. You think about people going to South America or Mexico or some other place for medical procedures because they're less expensive, and that's called medical tourism as well. But here, medical tourism is something that's a little tiny slice of it, but it's kind of neat to claim it here.
Things you learn. I did not. That's one thing. Out of all the discussions we talk often. I had not heard that one. That's pretty neat. Well, I want to give you an opportunity. You have any upcoming events this coming year that you're working on, or anything else that we haven't talked about that you would like to bring up?
Well, I'll tell you this. One thing that's real important to us as well is North Carolina is one of the top states in the country for film production. And so if you look back at all the movies that have been shot, big movies in North Carolina. We had Last of the Mohicans shot here back in the early 90s, and we had a festival for the 30th anniversary of that back in May of this year. And then Hunger Games was filmed down at Henry River Mill Village. And I tell people all the time that if I had gone down there that year that movie was released and just sold one person a T-shirt that it came through there, I'd be retired. I'd own an island somewhere in the South. But yeah, film-induced tourism is huge. Dirty Dancing, scenes where they shot Forrest Gump on Grandfather Mountain.
Sure.
On the Blue Ridge Parkway. Biltmore State's been used a lot for movies, and the film industry is coming back. Netflix is filming a lot of things in North Carolina. This past summer, I believe it was June, there was Universal Pictures was filming at South Mountain State Park.
Oh, I remember that.
And they had a 100-plus person crew on scene for 3 or 4 days. That's a huge crew. Most crews that would come on a location set like that would be maybe 25, 30 people. But for them to bring 100 people and stay here 4 days, that has an economic impact of its own.
Oh, absolutely.
But when the movie comes out and people find out, oh, that was shot at South Mountain State Park in Burke County, and if it's a good movie and if it portrays us in a good way, people will come to see that location. And so film-induced tourism is also big. Now, 2023, the state has announced, is going to be the Year of the Trail. And the Year of the Trail is going to celebrate all of the trails in Burke County and the state. But in Burke County, we created the Catawba Valley Ale Trail, which is 12 breweries from McDowell, Burke, Caldwell, and Catawba County. And people can come and follow that trail from place to place and earn points if they check in at each place, and then they'll qualify for an award that we mail out to folks. It's kind of like a little koozie, a little beer glass koozie. But we have, we've cataloged the hiking trails in Burke County. We know right now we have 75 different named hiking trails in Burke County. That's in the state parks, Pisgah National Forest, and it's over 200 miles of trail. And we know more trails are going to be added here in the next couple of years. The Wilderness Gateway Trail down through the South Mountains that will also connect into Valdez. will be another trail to add to our list. So Burke County is definitely a trails destination, whether you're hiking, mountain biking, just walking, just leisurely walking on a trail. So we have something for everybody, and next year our event that we're holding is going to be on Saturday, March the 11th. It'll be at Comma from 12 to 5, and it's going to be a Discover Burke Trails festival, if you will. We're going to have some really fun speakers inside of Comma. We're going to have exhibitors inside and outside, some food trucks. We're going to have a inflatable obstacle course for kids.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
They're going to have a great time, and it'll be something for everyone. So that's Saturday, March the 11th at Comma, and people will hear more about it in the local media.
Well, we look forward to that. That's fantastic, and I know you've always got festivals and ideas coming down the pipe, so that sounds very exciting. And you know, one thing about the trail system, because we work obviously with Buncombe, McDowell, Catawba, all the surrounding counties, Rutherford. We have a destination not just for Burke County, but for a regional.
Right.
And when we look at it as a county, I know you look at it working with other TDAs in the area. Y'all work together in lockstep.
Oh yeah, we do.
That makes a big difference.
We sure do. We work with McDowell. We work with Rutherford, even the counties up higher, Watauga, Boone area, and we're actually looking at maybe doing some collaborations with Watauga here next spring at some other festivals in the area that people bring in, come from a long ways away to visit Western North Carolina. Why not invite them here to come visit Burke while they're here? So we're looking at doing some work with them on that.
Well, Ed, I appreciate you coming today, my friend.
Yeah.
I know it's, as you can tell, we've got the Christmas decorations up, and we're both going to the parade today. Now, I'm going to be walking in the rain, and you're going to be driving the trolley.
I'll be in the trolley, warm.
That does not seem fair because he's got the heat, and he will be dry. I may jump in there as well. So thanks again for your time. I want to thank everybody for watching this Fireside Chat. We'll get together again soon. Thank you.